Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. Today I'm talking about ways to stop caring about someone who hurt you. So I've got 5 ways for you that you can stop caring about someone who hurt you. So the first way that can really benefit you, and this is something that I want you to be acutely aware of, and that is you've got to be careful of what kind of content you are currently consuming. Because if you are consuming content that is keeping you stuck in place, like it's keeping you caring basically, like perhaps you're watching videos on how to get your ex back, things like that, then that is going to prevent you from moving on and caring about someone who hurt you, right? So if you want to stop caring about someone, then you've got to stop watching content that is keeping you in a state of caring about the situation and caring about them, okay? So you got to make sure that you are careful of the content you're kind of consuming. So what kind of content do I mean? I mean content like videos on that kind of subject. Instead of watching videos on how to get your ex back or things like that, watch videos on personal development or dating, because that's more forward thinking rather than looking back, right? And generally, the reason why we still care about a lot of people who are in our past is because we keep on going back through old memory files, looking at those memories, pulling them out, and dwelling on them for a little while. And sometimes the content that you consume can keep you stuck in those areas. So you've got to make sure that you're watching videos that are more forward thinking, or listening to podcasts that are more forward thinking rather than sticking around in your past and keeping you poking around in there, right? Which is not what you want to do. You want to move on with your life. You want to stop caring about this person. So you got to come up with new content that you can consume that will help with that, okay? So another thing that can really help to stop caring about someone who hurt you is if you start to pursue something meaningful to you, right? Because sometimes a lot of the reasons why we have a lot of time on our hands to think about our exes is because we're not using our time wisely enough. We should be really using our time to, help us move forward in life, to help us get to where we want to be in life, right? As opposed to dwelling on the past so much. So you got to find something that's really meaningful to you. It could be a meaningful project. It could be learning a new skill, like a new language or an instrument or something like that. Or perhaps it's a side business that you want to do because you would really love to quit your 9 to 5 and you would love to start your own business or something like that. And you would love to start following your dreams, right? Or maybe something to do with a hobby. Perhaps you would really like to be a painter, or you really want to get back into painting or something like that, right? Depending on obviously what you like and your hobbies and stuff. So you want to be spending your time doing those kinds of things because those kinds of things are more forward thinking. And they're obviously really meaningful to you and bring you a lot of inspiration in your life. So if you're doing things every day that are meaningful to you, you're going to feel really good about yourself and you're going to care less about what your ex is doing or about this person who you want to stop caring about. Okay, so pursue something meaningful in your life. Okay? Because what can happen, and there's a Viktor Frankl quote I use a lot, which is, when a man can't find a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure. So if you're just doing pleasurable activities like playing video games or watching too much Netflix, avoiding life, eating too much junk food, then that kind of stuff is not going to make you feel good about yourself. And clearly you don't have much meaning in your life. You need to find something meaningful to you. Okay, so you don't want to be distracting yourself with pleasure. You want to be healing from the incidents that have happened in your life, not hiding from it behind a video game console or behind Netflix or from endless scrolling on your phone. Right, you've got to find something meaningful to you that can get you out of screen time, basically, that's going to help you move forward in life. Okay, so the next thing that is going to help you stop caring about someone who hurt you is if you give yourself time. Right, you need to give yourself time to get over it, okay? If it's only been a week since you broke up, or maybe it's only just been a couple of months, really not enough time has passed for you to feel better, right? So you need to realize and be kind to yourself, essentially, and realize that, you know what, it's going to take me some time to get over it, okay? This was a big relationship. Even if you weren't together for very long, but it impacted you and it impacted your heart a lot, right? And you feel heartbroken from it. Then you need to give yourself time. And you need to be kind to yourself and realize that, you know what, some days I'm going to feel good and I'm going to feel like I'm over it, and other days I'm not going to feel that way. And how you will know that you've healed and you're getting over it is when you feel less intensely about it. Okay? That's how you're going to know. You don't care as much about the situation. Okay, so if you're still in this phase where you still care a lot about it, then you're not there yet, and you've got to be kind to yourself and realize that, you know what, it's going to take time. I know it can seem like on social media or in movies and TV that people can get over relationships like that, but in reality, we are complex human beings, and it takes time for our emotions to simmer down and to balance out. Okay, so you got to realize that it's going to take time, and that's okay. Okay, just because it seems like they've moved on with their life doesn't mean that they actually have, right? It doesn't mean that they are now living a 100% amazing life and they're doing way better than you, because more than likely that's that's very, very unlikely. Okay, everyone's got issues, everyone's got problems. So just give yourself that time, and you'll know you'll feel better when you feel less intensely about it, when you start caring less. Okay, so the fourth way to stop caring about someone who hurt you is date again when you care less about it. So when you get to that place where you're caring less about it, when you're caring less about them, then you know that you are now in the right frame of mind to be able to go out and date again. And I highly recommend a couple of dating books. You'll be able to find them in the description of this video. And that is 3% Man by Corey Wayne and Models by Mark Manson. Those are the two best dating books I've ever read, that I've ever come across. So I highly recommend that you go and read those, and that will help you get better at dating, especially if you're a man watching this. But there is some great tips in there, amazing tips in there for women too. Okay, so go and get those books for yourself, read those, digest them, read them over and over and over again, and you'll get there, and you'll be able to be amazing at dating, basically, right? You'll be really good at that after a while, right? After you really let that information sink in. And not only have you let that information sink in, but you've used and applied what you've learned. Okay, so date again when you care less about this person, and find someone better, basically. Because if you are basically dating someone who is way hotter than that person, if you're dating someone who has just a way better personality and someone who you enjoy hanging around with more, then you're going to forget about that person, and you're going to care less about that person very, very fast, right? Because if you start falling in love with someone new, then of course you're going to forget about that other person. Okay, so start dating again when you start to feel a bit better. And the last way to stop caring about someone who hurt you is to do things that raise your self-esteem, not hinder it. Okay, so this kind of touches on a little bit about, pursuing something meaningful and not distracting yourself with pleasure. You got to do things that raise your self-esteem. So one of the things that helps you raise your self-esteem is if you do have some goals for yourself and you work towards those goals every day. Another thing that's going to raise your self-esteem is if you get fit and healthy and you start exercising regularly. That's going to raise your self-esteem, right? What can hinder your self-esteem is if you do things that go against what you should be doing. Like, for example, if you binge watch Netflix all day, or you play hours and hours endlessly on playing video games, or you eat too much junk food, or you drink too much, or something like that. Those are things that are not going to make you feel good about yourself. Those are things that are going to make you beat yourself up about it, right? Whereas if you get a good regular exercise routine, you've got goals that you're trying to achieve when it comes to your life and personal success, then you're going to feel really good about yourself. You're going to feel really confident about yourself. Right, there's a Dale Carnegie quote that I use a lot that I really love, and that is, "Inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit at home and think about it. Go out and get busy." And that's by Dale Carnegie. Right, so the thing is if you're always at home, sitting at home, worrying about your life, worrying about your ex, then of course you're going to feel fearful. You're going to be in doubt about your future. Whereas if you're taking action and you're taking steps to make your future better, you're going to feel better, okay? Because you're not hindering your success. And that will also raise your self-esteem and make you feel more confident and feel more courageous, because it says action breeds confidence and courage. Taking action breeds confidence and courage. So take action on your goals, create a plan for yourself, get an exercise regime going, and you're going to feel amazing. Now, of course, before you make any changes to your diet, make any changes towards your exercise, make sure you go and talk to a physician about it, your GP or someone else, personal trainer or something like that, to talk to a professional about it, because what the advice that I give should not be a substitute for medical advice. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com, and I shall talk to you guys again very soon. Goodbye.